through the quotes quickly, and what I'm going to do is I will read through the quotes as they are on the collaboration forum, and I'll actually show these to you while we're doing it. Okay, the first is we've got Gulliver's Travels by Swift. One thing that you should know is that I will be providing quotes for you on the test, and you will need to say, you'll typically need to give the author and at least an abbreviated title, because I just need to know that you know where it came from. So, for instance, you don't need the first and last name of the author. You just need Swift and maybe Gulliver. Okay, just please always remember and don't leave here thinking that some guy named Gulliver wrote it. Remember, it's an abbreviated form of Gulliver's Travels or Modest Proposal or something like that is the title. So, we'll start with these. Okay. My father had a small estate in Nottinghamshire. I was the third of 5 sons. This is from Gulliver's Travels. Hang on. And he gave it for his opinion that whoever could make 2 ears of corn or 2 blades of grass to grow would deserve better of mankind than a whole race of politicians. Whoever performs his part with agility and holds out longest and leaps and creeping is wearing the blue-colored silk. There's a society of men among us bred up from their youth, where black is white, white is black. My reconcilement to the Yahoo kind might not be so difficult. Okay, that was from Emily and Drew. Okay, how many of you would have recognized those quotes?
Oh, come on.
The Yahoo.
The Yahoo.
I mean,
the
yeah.
Yahoo quote, okay. Any other, what did we read? Everybody look at Gulliver's Travels, the excerpt in your book, okay? Or don't look at it and just tell me what you remember reading from it. Remember, this is the one.
For the community.
What?
The winners are like, they do whatever they can for the community.
Okay.
Reason and logic.
Okay, reason, logic, the women's do what they can for the community. Okay.
Rather be a winner than be a human.
Rather be a woman than a human. Okay, but what about lines? Do you remember something specific that happened that I read? Or do you remember, now the part about the
lying, that's the thing which is not.
right, that white is black and black is white according as they are paid. To this society, all the rest of the people are slaves. That kind of sounds like the lying part, or being a politician. Do you remember? Can y'all find it in your books? What page are you on?
On 448, when it said the thing which was not.
Said the thing which was not. That is the definition for lying. Let's go with, that's a little clear because I actually read that part. Okay, I'll give you a hint. If I read it in class, it is more likely to be on the test than not. Or if I quote a phrase, that's more likely to be on the test than something else. So that is page
448.
Gulliver. Page 448. And I am going to ask you to make sure that these, can you get this on the, like, can you zoom in so that we're sure that we read
Yes,
this?
ma'am.
So that it said the thing which was not. And that is a definition of, or their way of talking about lying. That's the one. So if I say, to say the thing which was not, I might say this is blank. Or lying is to say the thing which was not. Because that's a pretty common phrase. Do you not remember, or are y'all just embarrassed to read the part that I read when he met the Yahoos?
On the whole, I never know in all my travels, so disagreeable with that part.
Yeah, do you remember what happened to him? They climbed up in the tree. No, it's him, yeah. Okay, because that gives you a sense. Where is that?
Page 439.
439. Okay, because remember, I read that. Is that not highlighted in your books? It is. Okay, read me that.
this curbside for getting hold of the branches behind, leading up into the tree from whence they began to discharge their increment.
Excrements. Okay, so it's about discharging excrement, okay, on his head, okay. That's one. I think we also anybody have anything else underlined in your book or highlighted from? Yes, what?
I gotta find it.
Okay.
Page 452.
400.
When they're talking about wars.
When they're talking about wars, that's a really good one. Page 452, and you've got the whole top paragraph, right?
Everything you read.
Okay, find me like the word war or something in there. And remember I said it's that, okay, here's a tip. You don't want to have to memorize that whole paragraph, but look for the most outrageous example, and it's things like, I think it's like the third line from the bottom of that paragraph. Something about people's opinions. Is the word opinion in there?
It says neither are any wars so furious and bloody or of so long continuance as those occasioned by difference in opinion, especially if it be in things indifferent.
Think about, wars are the most bloody when they're over opinions, rather than it's a fact that our people are dying or something. Instead, it's over somebody's opinion that doesn't really matter. So, war over opinion. So that might be a line. That's the first paragraph on page 452. Okay, that might be a line. Is it kind of making sense now that what kinds of quotes I'm looking for? That they're things that I would have read in class, mentioned in class, and it's the part, because sometimes, I'll read a whole paragraph. Look to the thing that stands out the most. They're never so bloody as when they are over just some silly opinion about something, right? Or something really wacko that there's no way you can forget that the guy who's climbed a tree and pooped on his head. And the thing which was not is lying. They don't have a word for the thing which was not. Instead they call it that. So they don't have a word for lying. Okay, that's Gulliver by Swift. Now what do we have by Swift? Let's go on to the modest proposal.
So that's pretty much the problem.
Now, okay, I'm not saying proposal. I'm not limited to these quotes. Okay, I'm not limited to these quotes. I might give you something else, but it is probably something I mentioned or directly read.
Well, I have another thing highlighted.
Okay, what's your other thing?
It's like on page 466, where you're talking about how like they don't fall in love, they just like made to be like for society.
The arranged marriages of the women. Arranged marriages. Okay. So that's another possibility, yes. Something like that that shows their reason, something that demonstrates their reason, their pure reason. Also, there might be something about how he can't stand to be around his wife, that sort of thing. Remember that? Okay, at the end. So that might be in there as well. Okay, a modest proposal. And we've got these, this is posted by Brennan, Emily, and Sarah. Ouch! Okay, you've got, this is the quotes we find.
Oops.
What should
me typing?
These are the quotes that we find most important.
Sorry, I typed a lot, so.
Okay.
I was getting the end.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not going to count on for that. You've got, okay. So, it is exactly 1 year that I propose to provide for them in such a manner as instead of being a charge upon their parents or the parish. Sounds like a possibility there, because it's the 1 year old. How can, there aren't any, I don't think there are any 1 year olds in anything else we read, are there? No.
Yeah, that's page 40.
That's page 484. Okay.
Yeah, I put the page numbers in there.
Okay. Okay, so 484, and I'm just giving you catchwords here. Go back and look at the Brennan's, it's got Brennan's name there, and it's a modest proposal. That looks good. Page 484 about the 1 year olds. That looks good. Okay. I try to give you things that stand out. I do therefore humbly offer it to consideration 120,000 children. 1/4. Yeah, that might work, because we've got one male will be sufficient to serve for females. Yeah, that might be in there, that could be. I grant this food will be somewhat dear and therefore improper for landlords, who, as they have already devoured most of the parents, seem to have the best title to the children. Of 2 and 3 on this list, how many of you think that 2 is more likely to be quoted than 3? Number 2 is the one about how many, like how they're breeding them, and then number 3 is the one about the landlords. The landlords is probably more likely to be quoted because it gets at, it's, I mean, the other thing is kind of funny because it talks about, how, I mean, it's nonsensical how he is doing the math. But number 3 gets at the heart of who he's criticizing, those absentee landlords. So number 3 is the part about the landlords on 485. Okay. And you know that I'm not looking at the landlords, I'm looking at the whole quote there. I mean, right? You know that it'll be a quote. These are just keywords. Some persons of a desponding spirit are in a great concern about the poor people. It's very well known that as every day they're dying and rotting by cold and famine, filth and vermin as fast as can be reasonably expected. Oh, that's terrible. But yes, that's a good one. I would say number 4 is a good one too.
What pages?
What page is that
I
on?
wrote it down.
It's like at the end of the quote.
It's not on that one.
All of them except number 4.
Sorry, what, this is the 4th one. What did it start with, some persons of desponding spirit?
Some persons of desponding spirit.
486 at the bottom.
486. Okay. I desire the reader will observe, I calculate my remedy, and can never be, don't talk to me of other expedients. And this is the part that is italicized on page 488. And those are the italicized, serious recommendations. Okay. All right. Okay, Matthew Acus goes forward to Wordsworth, okay? This is Wordsworth, Tintern Abbey. Where's Matthew? Okay, yes. Did you work with somebody or is just?
Just me.
Just you, okay. It looks good, because look at what he's got from Tintern Abbey. 5 years have passed, 5 summers. You know, and okay, I'm going to erase this unless anybody like falls apart. I'm going to erase this now, okay? Hold on.